Hey y'all! Well, I know some of you regular viewers are fixing to say, OMG, what are you doing? And yeah, I need another big project like a hole in the head, but yeah, I've really gotten attracted to this reel-to-reel stuff. And I'm going to blame it on the commenter that said, yeah, but you're listening to reel-to-reel through solid-state electronics. Enter the Akai M8. This is the last reel-to-reel deck that Akai made that has tube electronics. And it not only has a tube preamp, it's got actually two amplifiers, and it's got a tube preamp, and it's got a single-ended EL84 amplifier. I think it's a pentode mode that drives the output straight into speakers. So you can either use this deck as a preamp out that would go into another amplifier, or you could actually listen to the single-ended amplifiers with the output transformers that are built into this thing. And I know people pull the amplifier sections out of these tape decks to run them standalone and talk about what a great sounding a little amplifier those make. So hey, wouldn't it being fed by a tape be even better? And it does use the same equalization. It was at the point where they were using they call it NABTC. I'll put it up here, but it's the same as NAB. So it's got the right equalization for modern tapes. It's a 4-head inline tape deck. It wasn't those weird, in series ones where you need funky heads or funky tape recordings to work with. And it does have this cross-field head design that Akai was using at the time, where it's got a bias head opposite the recording head that's supposed to help the high frequency response. You can leave in comments below what you think about that deal. So anyway, I found this one on eBay, and it was just under $300 shipped to my house, which I know some of you guys are going to say, hey, I bought one of those at a thrift store for $30 or something. Yeah, I know there's killer deals out there, but I'm not interested in hunting them down. I knew the specific deck that I wanted, and I wanted one that was in basically mint condition. And this one looks new. You can see how nice it folds up into like a suitcase deal. And yeah, it looks beautiful. It powers on, the motor runs, the capstan and all that works right. It does have an issue though with the clutch on the take-up reel seems to be frozen where it can't slip. And so when you put tapes in it and turn it on, it just rolls the tape past the capstan, and it's super high speed and it's not usable. Like I said, there's like discs in a little felt piece or something that I believe what's going on is all that is stuck together, and it isn't allowing it to slip, so that it's just putting tension on the tape instead of dragging the tape through the deck. So I know some of y'all are going to laugh at this, but to test this thing, I set it up next to my other reel-to-reel and used the correct operating take-up spool to pull the tape off of this deck and to see if the capstan and all that was working right. And it's got a bunch of weird adjustments for different frequency, like 50 and 60 hertz and voltages and all that. It's set to 120 volts at 60 hertz, so all that's right. And so powered it up, put the tape on it, and like I said, used my other deck for the take-up spool that slips like it's supposed to, and it works. Even the amplifiers work, and they sound really good. Now it does have a little bit more hum than I would like to hear, and I'm sure when I pull these amplifiers out, they're going to need to be recapped, and the resistors could be all out of spec and all that. But my plan is to go through the transport, get it working right, which hopefully is not going to be a huge deal. And I may try to put a new belt in it too, but I'm going to look at it. If the belt looks okay, I'm just going to leave that alone because it's working right now. And going to do a kind of a video on going through that. And it actually came with the original owner's manual, and I found a service manual for it, and it shows like all the lubricating points and put some fresh grease on these cams that are prone to breaking and all of that stuff, and basically rebuild the mechanical part of it, and then in more fitting with the channel, we'll pull these two amplifier sections out and go through them. And it's probably got all the original tubes in it, which the tubes are probably worth more than the whole tape deck is. But yeah, this is, I think, early 1960s vintage stuff, which I wasn't even listening to audio gear at that point. I was 5 years old or less. But this stuff just looks really cool to me. And the fact that it's in such good cosmetic shape, because that's something you can't fix. I mean, if it needs a new spindle clutch assembly thing, yeah, see, those are on eBay. I mean, I can buy that stuff. And I can buy belts. And like I said, the head seemed to work because it sounded pretty good to me. Just out of these little, it's got these little speakers in this little, well, I don't know if you can see in the video. It's got a little flip-up panel on the top here that there's two speakers underneath that are supposed to be like the center channel of the stereo. That, yeah, kind of some silly stuff. But anyway, not going to be something that I am going to be doing in the near future, but you guys know me, it's like squirrel, and I'm just like, I'm off doing something else, and I don't need this to drag my focus away from that 6033C. We're gonna get that finished up and some of these other projects, but I don't know, this reel-to-reel stuff just seems really cool to me, and having one that is tube powered sounds even cooler. And if there is something goofy about these crossfield heads that aren't high fidelity, I'm assuming that might be able to put some different heads in it and rewire it to be more of a normal deal, even if I'm not recording tapes on it, or possibly use these amps with another reel-to-reel deck to have some tube sound off the equalization like I enjoy for my phono stage. So anybody that knows anything about this stuff, especially this crossfield head stuff, is that like a viable thing to be using? And I've seen enough good things about the amps that are in this thing, and the VU meters work and everything. I mean, it looks like it's all going to work, which, yeah, if it just gets recapped and freshened up and the motor and everything is running like it's supposed to, and it doesn't have a bunch of wow and flutter, and the speeds are all good and all that stuff, this could be a cool thing. So anyway, let me know what you think about this project. There's definitely not a video about restoring one of these decks on YouTube. And so I thought that would be another reason to do this series, was for folks like me that there's a zillion of these things out there. And I think in the US they were sold as a Robert 770X or something like that. But yeah, you can look on eBay and there's a pile of them in various states of, functioning. Some of them say they 100% or have been redone, and they sell at the same price as one that's for parts only. So I'm not sure if anybody's actually going through them and then selling them at the same price that other people are selling broken ones for. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I would think that if somebody actually went through and recapped one of these and put new belts and lubricated everything, and it was all functioning, tested 100%, that it would be selling for more than a broken one. Anyway, again, let me know what you think in the comments. I don't want to get too sidetracked on this, but there's something that's attracting me to work on this thing, and I don't know if I can help myself. So anyway, if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Thanks to all you regular subscribers and you folks that, send me positive emails, that join my Patreon, that help me out with donations. If you've got one of these things, or you know something about these, especially somebody that would want to talk on the phone some about these things and really like these early decks, send me an email. I'd love to chat back and forth about this stuff and kind of figure out what I've got, and this really is as worth restoring as I think it might be. And yeah, until the next video, have a great day.